They asked this question and they had this like knowing smile. They said, "Do you think you're gonna win?" I assumed that it had to be good, otherwise they wouldn't seem so confident. I was pretty nervous, but I mean, I was excited just because of the implication, right?
On Monday, the bot was beatable by some players. By Wednesday, we played with the best player in the world. We won with him 10-0, 12-0 maybe.
They told me it wasn't a big deal because it played thousands of games against itself, so I shouldn't feel too bad. I was embarrassed. This thing accomplished in like 6 months what I've like set out to do for 8 years. When I first played against the AI bot, they didn't really tell me anything going into it. They said, "You're going to play a 1v1. I was pretty nervous, but I mean, I was excited just because of the implication, right? If there's a bot that can play at a super high level, then it's great. I mean, it just pushes Dota to a new level in general. 8 very high level players played it, and all 8 of us got stomped in game 2. People were upset. They didn't want to give it the credit that it deserved. Anything that can be programmed in 6 months to beat 8 top players one after another, that thing was, it's unlike anything.
You've heard about it, now you're going to be playing against it. Can you comprehend the idea of a bot being better than you?
We wasn't sure exactly whether we'll be able to beat Dandy on stage.
Okay, this guy is scary.
Does it feel like a player, like a person?
Nope.
It's going in!
I'm dead.
Oh! GG!
Okay.
We'd like to find agents that are able to adapt and learn in very new environments and accomplish increasingly more complicated tasks. And it turns out that games are really great for this. Dota 2 is one of the most difficult games in the world that are available right now.
Nothing that I've ever done has quite prepared me to play a game like Dota.
Fast up, they're going in once more. Blink, looking for the crush, the frostbite, perfect timing from Faith, creating space.
There's just so much about it, so much you have to learn, so much you have to grind. It takes, I'd say, a year to just learn the basics of understanding what all the heroes and spells do. It probably takes about, I'd say, a minimum of 12,000-ish hours to be a pro.
Even 1v1 version of Dota 2 is super complicated. The game is real time, which means that in every second there are 30 decisions to be made. If we could, we would probably hard-code all the strategies. But turns out that is not feasible. We use a concept called self-play. So what we do is we start by having an artificial neural network with initially random parameters, and we let it play the game. The only influence that we have on it is we say last hitting of creeps is good, dying is bad, getting damage is bad. What happens is that it will walk randomly, trying out lots of things. We can run the games usually much faster than real time, and we can run many copies of them in parallel. Each of the change of the agent makes it slightly more efficient, slightly better. After about 2 weeks, they reach a level of professional gamers, and then they become much better than any human players.
It did things that we had never seen anybody else do, and it had set like a type of playstyle that we pretty much just copy now. When I see the bot make a play, it clicks in my head. I'm like, why aren't we doing that?
It's actually really fascinating to see the strategies that they learn over time. For example, we noticed that the bot behaves in an extremely silly way. Like in the first minute, it started taking a lot of damage, and we didn't know why it's happening. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The bot was using a baiting strategy. If you see that your enemy is on low health, you go very over-aggressive and you think that you're gonna win. And then the bot was defeating its opponents within the next minute or so. When we let it train for a few more hours, it learned to counter that strategy in particular. And at that point, like, no one was really able to beat the bot consistently.
No matter what happened, like sometimes I would outplay it. It didn't change anything. It just kept playing the same way.
You cannot tilt the bot in the way that you would humans. it calculates what is the most optimal for the human player to do in the next couple of seconds. So it's not gonna be distracted by random movements of human players or faking attacks. This type of strategies do not work well against the bot. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how this is going forward in the future. We've got many requests from professional players on getting access to the bot. It's possible that in order to be the best in the game, maybe you'll need to use similar bots for like your regular practice.
Because it does certain things perfectly, and you have to play perfectly to match those things. In that regard, you could train yourself over and over again to just get these like pitch perfect games at a more consistent level. So in terms of high level play, it should make things a lot more mechanically skilled.
Players do not want to reveal their strategies to their opponent. So when they want to test out more crazy ideas, they don't have too many people to play against. Once we have very good 5v5 bots, you could imagine trying out hundreds of variations of different scenarios and trying to improve your longer-term strategies.
I don't think that it's ever possible for a group of 5 bots to ever beat a group of 5 human players that are any good, just because I don't think that there's enough processing power in the world for it to handle that. The interactions between 116 or something heroes that go in so many different ways that work together in different spots, like there's just too many variables that I don't think it could completely gather.
In 90s, people thought that it's impossible to write bots that can play chess, and like we see the similar theme going forward over the last 10 or 20 years, and we are able to solve increasingly more complicated environments and tasks. I think it's definitely possible. It's not gonna be easy, but if our research is successful, we'll be more efficient and we'll be able to tackle more complicated problems in the future and solve more complicated games. It's always impossible to tell which of the advances turn out to be useful. We're definitely going to see a lot more applications of these methods in the future, but it's too early to tell now.